A global computer chip shortage. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. We're going to talk about the global silicon chip shortage that's happening at the moment, and it's starting to affect many different parts of the economy. But first, let's have a look at just integrated circuits. This is from the Observatory of Economic Complexity, and just gives us a bit of an understanding of it. Now, it's the fourth most traded commodity in the world, everyone. Integrated circuits. Top exporter is Chinese Taipei, Taiwan. Top importer is Hong Kong. And it's a very complex product. It's ranked 57th in the world. If we have a look here, we can see the exporters. First up is Chinese Taipei. Then you've got China, South Korea, Malaysia. The US is there at 6.74%. US is exporting more than Japan, which is something I learned. Australia's not even on there. Oh, we probably are right down the bottom. And I'm just going to change this to a different color pen, if you bear with me, so we can have a look at this. So, you know, we're down here. Now, these are the top importers, and the top importer is Hong Kong at 23.7%, and then China at 20%. And you can see even Mexico. Mexico's importing more chips, integrated circuits, than Australia is. So, this is the share of exports over time, and you can see here from 2009, China's grown, Singapore's shrunk down a little bit, South Korea's grown as well, and Chinese Taipei has grown even more. Now, this is net world trade. So the blue, the darker blue, are the more exporters they are, and the red, the more importers. In Australia, we're definitely importers. Most of the world are importers. Europe, some parts of Africa are net exporters. So I wonder what's going on there, to be quite honest. And here we can see which countries have tariffs, and it's look at all of Africa has, you know, these higher levels of tariffs, which is, well, concerning. You'd think, why would they have tariffs if they want to get access to this technology? And remember, tariff is something that the consumer pays. It's not a tax on that other country. It's a tax you are paying. That's what it is. I mean, none of these countries have any capacity to manufacture this stuff. So, of course, they've got to put a tariff on it, so they've got to tax it. You know, maybe that's part of the reason why these socialist countries have all failed in Africa. So, I also want to draw attention to shipping costs. They're increasing more and more because, well, chips are an export commodity that travels all around the world. The Freightos Baltic Index, FBX, is at 4,637. This is the overall. And if we look from China to America, it's just over $5,041. So, let's have a look at this article from CNBC discussing this global chip shortage now that we have a bit of an overview of the sector. So the global chip shortage is starting to have major real-world consequences, everyone. The severity of the global chip shortage has gone up a notch over the last few weeks, and it's now looking as though millions of people will be impacted. I mean, you've got to realize how many products we have and use has these chips in them. As technology has advanced, semiconductor chips have spread from computers and cars to toothbrushes and tumble dryers. They now lurk beneath the hood of a surprising number of products. But demand for chips is continuing to outstrip supply, and car makers are no longer the only companies feeling the pinch. South Korean tech giant Samsung said last week that the chip shortage is hitting television and appliance production, while LG admitted the shortage is a risk. Due to the global semiconductor shortage, we're also experiencing some effects, especially around certain sets of products and display production, said Ben Hsu, head of Samsung's investor relations, on a call with analysts. We're discussing with retailers and major channels about supply plans so that we are able to allocate the components to the products that have more urgency or higher priority in terms of supply. Samsung's co-chief executive and mobile chief, Ko Dong-yin, said at a shareholder meeting in March that there's a serious imbalance in supply and demand of chips in the IT sector. At the time, the company said it might skip the launch of the next generation Galaxy Note smartphone. That's a big move. LG said it is closely monitoring the situation, as no manufacturer can be free of the problem if it gets prolonged. according to the Financial Times. LG did not immediately respond to a CNBC request for comment. So everyday appliances at risk. Production of low-margin processes, such as those used to weigh clothes in a washing machine or toast bread in a smart toaster, has also been hit. While most retailers are still able to get their hands on these products at the moment, they may face issues in the months ahead. Even dog washing businesses are suffering, according to the Washington Post. CCSI, which makes electronic dog washing booths in the Illinois village of Garden Prairie, was recently told by its circuit board supplier that the usual chips weren't available, according to the report. The business, which did not immediately respond to a CNBC request for comment, was reportedly offered a different chip, but that required the company to adjust its circuit boards, raising costs in the process. This particular problem affects all aspects of manufacturing, from little people to big conglomerates, President Russell Caldwell reportedly said. Literally, we have cornfields around us. There's not a lot here. Many companies, particularly those in China who have been hit by sanctions, are boosting their stockpiles of in-demand chips to try to ride out the storm, but that's making chips even harder to get a hold of for other firms. So the auto industry remains the worst hit. The automotive sector, which relies on chips for everything from the computer management of engines to driver assistance systems, is still the hardest hit. Companies like Ford, Volkswagen, and Jaguar Land Rover have shut down factories, laid off workers, and slashed vehicle production. Stellantis, the world's fourth biggest car maker, said on Wednesday that the chip shortage has gotten worse in the last quarter. Richard Palmer, the chief financial officer of the firm that was created through the merger of Fiat Chrysler and Peugeot maker PSA, warned the disruption could last until 2022. Some car makers are now leaving out high-end features as a result of the chip shortage, according to Bloomberg's report on Thursday. Nissan is reportedly leaving navigation systems out of cars that would normally have them, while Ram Trucks has stopped equipping its 1,500 pickups with a standard intelligent rearview mirror that monitors for blind spots. Rams has stopped including the option on all Tradesman, Bighorn, Rebel, and Laramie models at present due to limited supply of electronic components used in this option, a Ram spokesperson told CNBC, adding that the company plans to resume offering the option later this year. Elsewhere, Renault is no longer putting an oversized digital screen behind the steering wheel of certain models. Nissan and Renault did not immediately respond for comment. Rental car companies are also feeling the effects as they're unable to buy the new vehicles they want, according to Bloomberg report on Thursday. Hertz and Enterprise, which have traditionally profited from buying new vehicles in bulk and renting them out, have reportedly resorted to buying used cars at auction instead. The global microchip shortage has impacted the entire car rental industry's ability to receive new vehicle orders as quickly as we would like, a Hertz spokesperson told CNBC. Hertz said it is supplementing its fleet by purchasing low-mileage pre-owned vehicles from auctions and dealerships. An Enterprise spokesperson said the global chip shortage has impacted new vehicle availability and deliveries across the industry at a time when demand is already high. So a complex issue involving many moving components. The world's largest chip manufacturer, TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, said on Sunday that it thinks it will be able to catch up with automotive demand by June. Patrick Armstrong, CIO of Pull Omiri Investment Managers, told CNBC Street Signs Europe on Tuesday that the timeline is highly ambitious. If you listen to Ford, BMW, Volkswagen, they all highlighted that there's bottlenecks in capacity and they can't get the chips they need to manufacture the new cars, he said, adding that he thinks it will go on for 18 months. The chief executive of the German chip maker Infineon said Tuesday that the semiconductor industry is in uncharted territory. The current situation where all verticals are booming, I've never seen it before, Reinhard Ploss told CNBC Street Signs Europe. Ploss said it is very clear it will take time until supply and demand are rebalanced. I think 2 years is too long, but we would definitely see it reaching out to 2022, he said. I think additional capacity is going to come. I expect a more balanced situation into the next calendar year. So tech sovereignty. Nations are now being forced to think about how they can increase the number of chips they produce. The vast majority of the world's chips are made in China, while the US is the second biggest producer. The European Commission, the executive arm of the EU, has said it wants to build up chip manufacturing capacity in Europe as part of an effort to become more self-reliant on what is seen as a crucial technology. Europe currently accounts for less than 10% of global chip production, although it is up from 6% 5 years ago. It wants to boost that figure to 20% and is exploring investing 20 to 30 billion euros to make it happen. US tech giant Intel has offered to help, but it reportedly wants 8 billion euros in public subsidies towards building a semiconductor factory in Europe. Pat Gelsinger, Intel CEO, met with 2 EU commissioners in Brussels, including Thierry Breton last Friday after meeting with the German ministers the day before. What we're asking for from both the US and European governments is to make it competitive for us to do it here compared to Asia. Gelsinger told Politico Europe in an interview where he was cited saying that he was seeking roughly 8 billion euros in subsidies. Well, there you go, everyone. So what are the solutions or the takeaway for this? Jump over here and have a look. I mean, are we just learning about seeing the risk of just-in-time supply? Because a lot of these businesses don't have stockpiles. They don't have sufficient reserves in case, a black swan event happened. Is that what we're seeing here, everyone? Or what about, is it just temporary, as they're predicting? Will this be over in a few years' time, and will it lead to increased costs? Is it an opportunity for new manufacturers to compete? Could Australia, how could we attract the foreign investment and knowledge to develop a sector here? What advantages would we have? All things to consider. Thank you, everyone. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us on SelfWealth or Stake. Use any of our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Help us out by buying our merch. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.